Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of my Trove news series. They showed off so much stuff today that I'm super excited to talk about. They showed off a little bit of, or told us a little bit about Megalithic. They showed off a new dragon that I have a little bit of inside scoop on, so I might have a little bit more information for you guys there. They showed off a little bit of future UI coming to the game, coming in the next Shadow Tower expansion pack, or patch. And they also showed off, basically, what subclasses are going to be. They basically gave us a few screenshots and kind of confirmed a little bit of things when it comes to subclasses. They didn't get to the nitty-gritty, but they gave us the base level of what subclasses are going to be. First thing, like I said, was Megalithic. Megalithic has finally been submitted to both Microsoft and Sony and has been approved. So you guys have heard a few weeks ago when we talked about it, the process of being approved and the patch coming out from that is about a month. So they didn't say exactly June 19th, but they did say the end of June is when Megalithic is going to come out. It is a confirmed time estimation, or it's not an estimation, it's like a confirmed time frame, but no specific dates. They'll probably give us a specific date more as we get closer to the end of June, considering, again, that's about a month away. The next thing that they showed off was another dragon coming to the game. This is a dinosaur-themed dragon. Now, this dragon looks freaking awesome. However, I am unsure if this dragon is considered the green dragon or the dinosaur-themed dragon, because I heard both before from a little bit of data mining, so I would have to confirm that, but I do know where this dragon is going to come from. Now, the devs did not say this is from data mining, so it can change. However, usually that's not the case because it's data mined, you know, it's already in the system files. Now, this dragon is actually going to be coming from, sadly, another quest event, just like the Sir Cubeslick and the one we just had where we had to, you know, go all over the Trove worlds to kill, like, you know, a few skeletons here and there, and it was super annoying. Yes, sadly, it's another one of those quest events, but this dragon does look pretty awesome. I believe that quest is actually called Dino Attack or something like that, and from what I believe, if I remember correctly, it's actually coming not too far away. Maybe the patch between Megalithic and the Shadow Tower patch. I am, again, misremembering that a little bit, but it is coming from that quest event, and the dragon does look awesome, even though it is tied, sadly, to, you know, one of those very, very crappy quest events that hopefully, I mean, again, it was data mined the entire quest event, and it's not changing at all, guys. I'm sorry, it's just the same old quest event, just like how Invaders used to be. It was the same old AFK Invaders every single 2 weeks, and they went like, okay, people don't like AFK Invaders, let's come up with the worst quest events in the world. And that's kind of where this is like AFK Invaders 2.0. But the dragon does look really, really awesome. And I really, really like it. Again, it does kind of look like a green primordial dragon. That's why I don't know if the data mined green dragon is this dragon, because I heard both at the same time being separate dragons. So again, I would have to confirm that. But again, awesome, awesome looking dragon. I really, really love these new dragons, man. Like, they are so freaking amazing looking. I don't know what, again, I don't know what happened. I talked about that last week, though, so let's not get into that. Next up is they showed off a little bit of UI. Now, this is a screenshot, so I'm going to show you a few screenshots for the rest of the video. I will probably have some random gameplay footage in the background as well, but, you know, just for the spoilery stuff, I only have a couple screenshots left. First things first is the new class select UI. Now, this is going to have both character levels plus power rank. So this is an awesome way to update the, you know, class select UI, in my opinion. It gives you all the information right away. I don't have to log out. Like, when I press J, I will know exactly what PR my Revenant is, because I don't play the Revenant too often. So if I ever want to see what my Revenant is, I can just press J and be like, oh, he's 14k. Okay, cool. You know, that kind of thing. So, sorry, that was my phone if you guys heard that. So this UI looks way better than the one that we have now. Definitely a big upgrade. No, from what I see, no downside to it. There's never a downside to more information. Well, I mean, technically there is, but we won't get into that when it comes to too much information on the screen. And then also, if you can tell from the Lunar Lancer, they have finally showed off something about subclasses. They also have confirmed exactly how subclasses are going to work at the base end, like I discussed at the beginning of the video. So they said specifically that you will be deciding on one subclass to enhance your class rather than picking and choosing passives from multiple classes, kind of how we were speculating not last week but a few weeks ago. You know how I said, like, it could go two different ways. They can make it to where you only pick one class, or they can make it to where you pick, you know, you can pick and choose what passives you want from multiple classes, and that would be like thousands of combinations, and I didn't think that was what they were going to do, because that would throw balancing out the window. I'm sure you guys remember, but it turns out to be the other one, the first one that I discussed, where you pick one class and you use that class's passives when it comes to the subclasses. Now, they aren't the passives of the class. If you pick this Gunslinger as your subclass, that doesn't mean every hit gives you slow fall. It's not that. You know, when you pick a Candy Barbarian, you don't get the random attack speed buffs. Well, you could, maybe they might do that, but that's not how it works. You don't choose a passive of the class that exists. Today, there's going to be new passives that you unlock by getting your class to higher levels. There are still the tiered passives that are subclasses. I do want to make that distinction, because a lot of people think that you choose the class and you get that class's passives on top of your passives. You know, like if you chose a Neon Ninja, you would get shuriken charges on every class in the game. No, that's not how it works. You don't get the Shadow Flip passive if you choose Neon Ninja as your subclass. They could borrow some classes passives as their main passive. They could. I'm just saying not all of them will, because they already showed off a couple. We'll get into those in a second here. They showed off a couple that have nothing to do with any of the passives that already exist in the game. And one of them is actually completely new that we've never seen before, so I'm really excited to get into that, like I said. But yeah, again, there are still tiered passives that you will have to unlock by leveling up your classes, and the higher the level your class is, the better the passive is going to be. And from considering that you can only choose one class, you get all of that class's passive. So if you have a level 30 Gunslinger, you'll get the level 10 passive, 20 passive, 30 passive. Not, you know, the 30 passive from Gunslinger, the 20 passive from Lunar Lancer, not the 10 passive from Knight or whatever, you know. It's not going to be like that. So the first subclass that they showed off today was the Dracolite with the Ice Sage's Bubble ability. You know, it's number 1. I forget what it's called specifically. I think it's called just Ice Shield or something like that. Now, considering subclasses are passives, it seems like this bubble is going to be just on you forever. Now, they could do this in two different ways, like I said, or like I always do like a two different scenario type thing to make sure I cover, you know, a larger spectrum in my speculations, just in case one of them is right, you know. So the two ways that I think that they can go about this, considering that they just showed off the Dracolite with an Ice Sage's Bubble, and the Ice Sage's Bubble is an active ability. You have to press it on your Ice Sage, you know, to activate it. But considering this is a passive, one of two ways this can go down. One way is that it's a dumbed down version, like it doesn't have the full effect of the Ice Sage's number 1 ability. Maybe it doesn't give the move speed boost, maybe it doesn't eat, you know, any abilities that do 10% or lower of your max HP. You know, they might dumb it down a little bit, maybe not make it as powerful, that way it won't have to pop, because, you know, on your Ice Sage, if it pops, you have to repress it, but it's a passive, so you can't repress it. So if it pops, you know, the other way they can go about it is it can never pop, you know, be a dumbed down version, never pop, or they could kind of make it act as is, how it is on the Ice Sage, and when it pops on you, it will have like an internal cooldown that will give it like a 5 to second cooldown, and then it will reappear automatically, you know, because again, it is a passive. You cannot press, you know, a button to make the Ice Sage's shield pop up on you. It's a passive, it's a subclass. So either way, those are the two ways that I come up with. If you guys have other ways, leave it down below. Again, my ways is like it could be like just a worse version of it that's up forever, or it can be more of a standard version of it that has like an internal cooldown. If it does tend to pop, it'll have like a 5 to 10 second cooldown, like I said. The second thing that they showed off, and the last thing we have to talk about today, is the Revenant. Now, they showed off a Revenant. You saw the ally next to it. He was using a cotton candy, and there's also another thing next to him that looks like a cross between a Fae and the Dracolite's Familiar. So it kind of looks like a Fairy Familiar. So this is obviously a Fae passive, which we have no idea what this is. Again, all I got from it is it kind of looks like a Dracolite's Familiar, and it's a Fairy, which is a Fae. So we have no information on it, but it might just mean that there would be a point to level guns or Fate Tricksters. Maybe if you never liked the Fate Trickster before, this will get you to level your Fate Trickster to get that level 30 passive. This could be even the level 10 passive. We don't know any of the nitty gritty. Like I said, we just seen these few screenshots, and they gave us, or they gave people like me with wild imaginations, I guess, to speculate exactly what it means for the game. Because this Revenant with the Fate Familiar, we have no clue what this is. The Ice Age one, you know, the Draculite with the Ice Age bubble, that one's pretty obvious, you know. But this one's new. We have nothing like this in the game so far. So we have no idea what this is going to be. It could be like an auto turret. Like, you know, it just shoots every 1 second for, you know, 4 times damage. And if you get hit, maybe it does only 1 times damage. It could be something like that. We don't know. If it is like that, that'd be pretty funny, though, because that kind of, like, rubs it into the face a little bit, don't you think? But yeah, that is all they showed off today. A lot of good stuff. I like this. They didn't show off anything last week, so they could save a lot of stuff for this week. I like this type of thing. I like these screenshots. They don't necessarily have to show us the stuff in-game yet if it's not ready to be shown in-game. I do like this screenshot stuff because it gives us the opportunity to at least speculate a little bit. It's always fun to speculate even if we're completely wrong in the future, and it doesn't really do anything for us to speculate. But it is still pretty fun as somebody that has an audience to discuss things like this with an audience, so we can get multiple ideas out there and, you know, get the juices flowing, you know. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like, and if you haven't yet, click that subscribe button plus the bell next to it so you can be notified whenever I upload a video. If you would like to further support the channel, make sure to check out my Humble Bundle affiliate links in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.